Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today I decided I'm going to go a little bit into the philosophy of how I decide what stays in my collection, what I plan to collect, how I plan to collect, the condition of stuff, and I've kind of broken it down into three categories of what those games are in my collection. So I'm going to break it down by each of those categories. First, we've got this stack of three games that these come from the category of games that I had or maybe rented or played as a child that I don't have anymore. I kind of fell victim to the trading it into GameStop to get the next game, and I'm really mad at Young Mac for doing that because there's just so many games that I wish I had my childhood version of that game that I just don't have. So I've slowly been trying to build back a lot of those games that either I played as a kid or games that I did own at one point or another that, I sold to GameStop, I gave to a friend, let someone borrow it, and just never got it back. So we're going to jump into those three. So the first game I have in this part of the collection is this complete in box copy of Soul Silver. I don't have the game in here. I think it's actually in my 3DS right now. I was playing some Soul Silver a while ago, or it's in my little carrying case. I have it for it. But I picked this up a couple years ago in a lot of other Pokemon games. I think I had Heart Gold as a kid actually, but I love the Gen 2, Gen 4 remakes. They are so good, so fun, and man, I don't have any of my copies of Pokemon games from when I was a kid, and I probably traded in for $20, at a GameStop at the time just to get Call of Duty or something, and that is just the biggest blunder I think I could ever make. So I've been slowly but surely trying to rebuild that part of my collection, just a bunch of Pokemon games that I had when I was a kid. I think this is the only DS era complete in box copy I have, but I love Soul Silver. I hope I find a copy of Platinum soon for a decent price. That game's pretty expensive complete in box, but I think I could probably find one at one of my local game stores or something like that for a decent price, and with some trading credit and stuff, it wouldn't be too bad. But Soul Silver is one that I'm really happy that I have. I've played through this game a bunch of times, and I'm looking to restart and do a full-on not 100% complete. I'm not that crazy, but just my forever copy, save file of this game. I'm hoping to start that up soon. So that's a good one. I'm happy I have it in my collection. I don't think I'll ever really get rid of this unless I really need to for some reason. But this is one of those ones that I should have had my childhood copy if Young Mac wasn't a dumbass. All right, the next thing I've got in this section is Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 for the PS2. I love this game. I played it a ton as a kid. Got it nice complete in box with the manual and everything. It looks real nice. It's a really clean copy, actually. I love finding games like this that are relatively old that are just clean. Whoever I got this from, whoever had this before me, really took good care of it. And it makes me happy to know that it came from a loving collection before and that it will now stay forever with another. So this is one that I'm glad I have. I vividly remember trying to take this game to GameStop as a kid because I wanted whatever the next game was. I wasn't playing Budokai 3 anymore, and I was I'm going to trade this game in. And I really liked it. I thought it was such a cool game, and I was certainly GameStop's got to give me a good amount of money for this. And I vividly remember them offering me $4 in trade-in, and I left with my parents really, really upset. I came home and I was just why won't they give me more money for this game? I want to get the new game, but I was not about to give this one up for $4. So I actually don't remember when I got rid of this. Maybe I did get rid of it. I went back after I thought about it. I was yeah, that $4 is worth it. But that's another one where it's why did I ever do that? But this was one that I've played through a bunch of times. I actually have the HD collection that has Budokai 1 and 3 on the 360. And played through that kind of recently, and I haven't really gone back to the actual PS2 one. I've played it a bunch. I love it. It's a great game, and it's another one that I'm really happy I've got a nice, clean, complete in-box copy of. All right, and then this last one for this section is another one that I actually don't know if I ever owned this game as a kid, but I definitely rented it a bunch, and I just absolutely love it. And it's a Bully for the PS2. This copy's got a sticker on it that I haven't bothered to scratch off. That's another thing with my collection. I mean, I like when they're clean like that, but sometimes I keep the stickers on. This was one I got at a local game store, Mega Replay, for $10. And sometimes when the price is that cheap, I like keeping the sticker on. It's how did I get this for $10? This is a complete copy. This is a nice complete copy. It's got the little, Rockstar poster, and they were just selling it for $10. It works fine. It looks great. It's a nice original PS2 copy that I was kind of just surprised that they sold it for $10. So I've kept this sticker on, and I've just been too lazy to take this sticker off. Usually I am pretty good about taking these stickers off and trying to make sure my games are as clean as possible, but this is one I got kind of recently that I just haven't really gotten around to like cleaning up. But this is a game that I'm glad I have in my collection. I own it like a couple times, I think. I have it like on PS4 on like the, old collection sort of thing that they've got. It's just one that it's nice to have a physical copy of on top of that. And I might go around and play it on the PS2 sometime soon. Play it on the original hardware. Just enjoy it for how it was originally intended. But it's a fun game. I really hope that they make a sequel sometime soon. But yeah, those are 3 titles that are within that same realm of like games I used to have as a kid that I can't believe I didn't have going into my adulthood that I kind of wanted to reclaim. Okay, so this category is a little more on the side of I do own this game already digitally. I have a pretty huge Steam library. I play a lot of games on my Steam Deck, and there's just some games that I really loved playing that I got digitally that I loved playing it on there, and I'm not really sure I'll ever play these copies of them, but I wanted to own a physical version of it just because that's how much I love the game. I went and bought it a second time sort of thing. So the first game I've got for that is a actually sealed copy of Dark Souls 3 for the PS4. I think I got this at like a Walmart a couple years ago. They just had it kind of in their like clearance section. I think I only paid like 10 or 15 bucks for it. So I have played Dark Souls 3 a handful of times on Steam, but I have obviously never cracked this copy open, and honestly, I don't know if I will. I don't foresee myself going, I really want to play Dark Souls 3. I think I'm going to play it on my PS5 instead of just playing it on my Steam Deck or on Steam in general. But it's a game nonetheless that I love, absolutely adore this game, and it's one that I wanted to have actually in my collection as a way to display it. Maybe I'll crack it open sometime just for fun, but I don't intend to anytime soon. If I'm really craving a Souls-like game, I'm probably just going to play Dark Souls 3 on Steam. Next I've got Kingdom Hearts 2 for the PS2. I love this game, but it's another one where I actually have the PS4 collection that has all of the games. I've got the whatever assortment of collections, so I have all of the Kingdom Hearts games on PS2. But I also have the same collection of games on Steam, and again, on the Steam Deck. So if I'm really craving some Kingdom Hearts 2, I'm probably just going to boot up my Steam Deck, sit on the couch, play some KH2 that way. Or I'm going to play it on my computer, but I don't foresee myself booting up my PS2 just to play Kingdom Hearts 2. It's not even there's like the final mix and everything. I get so lost in the weeds with all that stuff, but I've got a nice complete copy here, got the manual and everything. It's just one of those things that look at this like shiny, artwork they've got here. Like that is so cool, and it's just one of those things that I want to own it somehow. I want it to be a part of my collection. So it's more of a collection piece than it ever is really getting played. I got it for 15 bucks at a local game store, the Item Shop here. Shout out Frank and Ryan. Love that place. I got it there a while ago, but I'm pretty positive that's where I got it from. So shout out those guys. And it's, again, just a game that I knew I wanted to have in my collection more than just digitally. And this kind of almost goes in the last category too. I don't know if I ever owned it as a kid, but I wish I would have and had it as a kid. I played it as a kid a bunch, but I wish I had a copy from when I was a kid. But that's all right. That's what building a collection is for, is building that collection that you don't have anymore. So the last game in this category is a bit of an older one, and I didn't play it until I think about 2014 or so, and that is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I played this game for the first time on my PC. I have it on Steam. Played it on there, and I was recommended to it by a family friend, and I just fell in love. I love this game. It is so good. One of the best RPGs ever made. I'm really stoked about the spiritual successor that's coming out, hopefully before 2030. And this was a game that I have played through multiple times. I've got it on my Switch as well. I played the Switch port of it too. It's fine. It's got some quality of life stuff that makes it a little better than trying to run it on modern hardware. But I've played it on PC a handful of times. I think I even played it. They had like an App Store release that I'm pretty sure I played in like a class during high school. But so I've played this game many times. I don't know if I'm ever gonna boot up this version of the game on any sort of Xbox family of consoles. Maybe I will, just for fun sometime, but this is one of those games that I just want to be able to have it physically display it, show it off, and say, hey, look, this is one of my favorite games of all time, and look, I own it. So this is another one that fits in that category of, I don't know if I'll play it. It's probably just for collection and display purposes, but I've played it a million times digitally, and I gotta own it physically. Now, this last category is one that I'm sure most of you are familiar with, and that is the big B word. That's right, I'm talking about the backlog. I've got so many games, both physically and digitally, that I just have not gotten around to. For whatever reason, I end up playing Balatro for the millionth time, or I play Fallout New Vegas or Fire Emblem Three Houses. I've just not gotten around to these games. So there's a lot of games that I buy over time that I just haven't gotten to, that I have physically, and most of them are still sealed. And that's just, I'm not gonna open it until I play it kind of thing. That's kind of how I see it. So this first one I actually just got for Christmas from my brother-in-law. A very nice gift from him is Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. This is one that is kind of deep on my backlog, but I do want to get to eventually. I've actually never played Mario Galaxy or 2. The first 3D Mario game I ever played like this actually was Odyssey, and I loved Super Mario Odyssey. I actually have the 3 All-Stars as well, still sealed because I haven't gotten around to playing it from when it first, had its limited release or whatever. I just haven't opened it. I haven't played 64, Sunshine, or Galaxy 1, but now I've got Galaxy 1 and 2 on this guy. So I'll get around to this eventually once I make good headway through my backlog like I plan to this year. But this is one that I'm really excited to play. Again, it's still sealed, so that's an indicator of I have not played it, but I will play it, and when I play it, you bet this will be opened. This next game I actually got while I was in Japan last year, and that's Astrobot. We were in Japan shortly after Astrobot won Game of the Year, and the way it works there, it's a little cheaper actually to buy new games like this there, so I even got the sticker from the Bic camera that I bought it from, which is kind of cool. Kind of stinks that once I open it, this will more than likely get thrown away, but I always know, obviously it's in Japanese. I can't read anything on this outside of Astrobot and PS5. So, I've heard good things about this game. I've had some friends tell me it's really great. I'm hoping to get around to it, hopefully sometime this year. I don't know if it's a super long game or anything, but I do love a good platformer, as I was just saying with Odyssey. I don't really play too many 3D platformers, but every time I do, I am just in love with them. So Astrobot I've got high hopes for, and I'll get to it eventually. Not sure when, but I will eventually open and play this copy of Astrobot. And lastly, another game that I've heard really great things about is Sonic X Shadow Generations. I never played Sonic Generations. I'm a big Sonic fan, mostly Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, but I never got around to playing Sonic Generations, and I heard that this is a really good, updated version of the game with extra stuff with Shadow. So, had to rep my boy Shadow, get this copy. I think I got this around Black Friday. They had a good deal at Best Buy or something. So I purchased this, and again, it's still sealed. Still haven't gotten around to playing this one quite yet, but it is on my radar. It is probably pretty close to next up in my backlog of games to get to when I just want to sit down and play a fun, relatively easy, I'd imagine, game like this. So that is the plan with the backlog as well. But I'm a fan of Sonic games in general. Haven't played Generations yet, so this will be a good one to play once I open it. Well, thanks for hanging out. It was fun to show you guys just a little bit of my collection, kind of how I segment the collection as a whole in my head when I'm buying and collecting, but this was only the tip of the iceberg. I'll definitely be showing off more of my collection, some collection pieces and stuff like that in future videos. So if that sounds interesting to you, if you like this video, and if you like game collecting and other nostalgic content, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.